This is an intro video to Undam the Witch. And I want to give an overview of where this course and content came from. So in short, in 2016, I was sitting at home alone, and I placed my hands on my womb and I connected to my vertical line and asked the mystery, what am I here to birth at this time? And in came the instructions for this course that was called Virgin, Whore, Bitch, Witch. And it was intended to place these words that can have a charge connected to them because of history, because of the way that it can box in specifically women into these labels. And that it was initially a one-on-one course for what were my soma clients, my bodywork clients, to then deepen with these aspects of these archetypes to be in relationship with, specifically in the same order, words, sex, money, and time. And so each of these archetypes showed the power dynamic within those four categories, and ultimately getting to the fifth archetype, which is our own creatrix, which is the power with art and creativity. So it's fitting to then re-release, how many years now? 6 years later, almost 7, this content here, after I really seen that take a life of its own. It started with one-on-one work, it evolved into group work, and then it evolved into this creative variety show with beloved friends in Seattle. And so today, re-emerging with, starting with the witch on solstice, winter solstice, because the witch is connected to this season of winter. And the witch is connected to time, and time in the sense of cycles and rhythms. And how can we be in relationship with time to then become, on the other side of which is healer, to become healer to ourselves, and that takes time. How do we connect to that deeper cyclical rhythm that heals? And so the witch is also showing us the shadow of this. It's when we are power over time, that's when we are slipping into the mainstream sense of urgency. And that dams us up. That dams up our bodies with stress that perpetuates harm in unconscious ways when we then force our timelines, when we force our timelines on others, on ourselves. And that's how power over time is expressed, is when there's a forcing of time. It's just like, how could we force the natural unfolding of life? You know, it's said often, like, you don't say like, all right, it's time to give birth to this child when they're still growing inside. That's just one example. Or come on, flower, bloom already. So time in the most natural sense is to be power with the time of cycles and rhythms that are natural, the natural order of time in cycles and rhythms. And then being power under time is when we are becoming forced by external pressures of time. So we're then becoming dammed up by the pressure. And then that can be all sorts of dis-ease in our body. And again, then how do we come back into this archetype from the witch to healer? There's also power in time. So power with is aligning and attuning to the greater rhythms and cycles. Power in is when we are listening and attuning to the rhythm and cycles within our own body, our own season of life. And that is being power in. And how we can do that is a dance of being power in and power with. And that's relationship. We can be power in our own timing, in our own cycle and rhythm. And there can be a way of seeing and attuning to where someone else is with their own timing and their own rhythm and their own season. And that could also be a power with. And it gets to the place of dis-ease, dysfunction, when we try to fit those different timelines together that just may not be fitting. So that is just a little bit of what the Undam the Witch brings for this season, starting with winter solstice. And I will be going deeper in how we can undam the witch within so that we can connect to our own rhythm and time within our bodies. And there are specific practices with releasing the fascia in our legs and our feet to really root down and connect and to ground and to listen to the timing of our own body in our own season. So may the witch be undammed, and may the witch be revealed for what she truly is as a healer.